Oil price predictions. It's kind of been a little bit of a volatile ride. There's been discussions on where oil can go.
Yeah.
It's just been a wild ride over the course of the past year on oil and what to expect from it. What is your price prediction on oil? And talk to me about how you plan on trading OIH or any other oil stocks that may make sense for you.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that we were talking about oil going negative almost a little over a year ago?
Yeah.
It's just wild. And now it's trading at 75.31 a barrel. And I think that there's definitely reason to believe that this goes to $100 a share by the end of the year. There's so much demand going on. I just saw article or news that just broke that UK is experiencing a oil shortage because they can't find drivers to keep up with demand. So that's crazy. There's a lot of people hoarding a bunch of gasoline over across the pond. I would imagine that we could see something to that effect here. That's only going to increase the price of oil and gas, and it's going to hurt at the pump. But for those of us who are invested in this, I think it's going to pay off leading into the end of the year.
Yeah. So obviously you mentioned OIH. And, I'd said BP, and there's certain reasons why I like BP, but you talked in level 3 this morning about other potential stocks. What stocks stand out for you, and what are you looking at in those stocks?
So one thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking, a lot of investors are overlooking, are stocks like Halliburton, which does have a lot of exposure to OIH. So if you aren't into the ETF scene, obviously I understand that. So then maybe just go after some of the ones that are going to do well in that ETF. Halliburton certainly looks to be one of those ones that could potentially do that. If we take a look at the chart here, it is actually above, and it's going to close above the 200-day moving average represented by this purple indicator here. It was already trading above the 50-day just a couple of days ago, and now has made a huge gap up, a huge move here. And I want to make sure that people understand this is still going to be pretty volatile. I mean, this whole area of commodities is volatile in general, so it's not going to just keep going straight up. However, if we start to creep towards this $25 resistance, which was the resistance for it in the past and has gotten rejected multiple times, if we fan back out here on Halliburton in general, you can see that it came up to 25 back in March, got rejected, got it back up to 25 back in June and got rejected, and then starting to make its way back there. I don't know if it actually will make it there or not, but if oil and natural gas continue to roll, there's reason to believe that some of these equities can do that. Now, I will say, Fat Man Zoom, that just because oil is doing this doesn't guarantee that equities are going to move, but they are lagging the price of oil, the price of natural gas considerably. And so it doesn't guarantee you that the equities are going to roll with the price of oil, but there's a pretty good chance that it could. The next one that I think is really important to watch, and you can kind of interchange these, is Chevron and Exxon. I'm going to go with Exxon. Super high yield here. Has also been making a really nice move and has broke through the 56 resistance. So we take a look at that chart. The resistance here at 56 was pretty tough. Really since the end of August, it had made several attempts to break through that 56 resistance and is now just blasted right through that. So the momentum is definitely there. You could argue that RSI is quite hot. This is could potentially be approaching levels of overbought, but it's been beaten down so bad, especially over the summertime. I think there's potential for this to go up higher, again, leading towards the end of the year.
Yeah. So Exxon has the best dividend yield out of the ones you mentioned, has a 6% dividend yield.
Yeah.
And Chevron's close. It has a little bit of 5.25, a little bit higher than that. What I will say is, man, I'm going to get you onto the BP train.
Okay.
They have a 5% yield. Looking at their fundamentals, they look like they're in a really good position. They only have a PE of like 11. Not to mention, we've talked about how they're trying to be sort of the first mover as far as clean energy is concerned, renewables are concerned, which I think there's huge opportunities for these companies who have cash to start at least getting into that space. But they're essentially going all in on it. So I'm telling you, man, feel really good about BP. I have Marathon Oil and BP, and I do want to sort of trim back to just one of them.
Yeah.
But I just can't part ways yet with BP. Feel really good about that. But a 5% yield is really, really strong.
Yeah.
And if we think it could still move up, that's just icing on the cake. So remains to be seen. Guys, you let us know, what is your favorite oil stock? How you feel about oil? Which one are you in? Our dividend bot also has oil stocks in it, the ones we've mentioned. So these are all things that we're very bullish on and can continue to move.